with that, I'll open it up to questions.
DA, what were your thoughts on Spencer in the second half?
Look, I thought he executed with poise. I thought he made some plays. I thought he was able to create a little bit with his feet when things didn't go exactly how you wanted it to. So I thought he did a good job. I thought Hainer did well. I thought he came in and executed his job. So, I was pleased with what we were able to get accomplished there with those two players. Now we're going to go back and we're going to look at the tape and we're going to make the corrections that we need to make. There's some things that we have to be better at. But I thought overall, for a first preseason game, and this being Spencer's first shot out, I thought I was pleased with what I saw.
You mentioned to lead up to the game that you wanted to see what they looked like under the lights.
I thought both of them made plays.
Yeah.
I thought both of them did some good stuff. Both of them led 2-minute drives, and so look, you can never get enough of that type of situational work, and I think in particular for those young guys to, be put in those situations, and I thought both of them responded well.
You guys left Waga and got some reps supposedly on that.
They need to play. I mean, those guys need to play. They haven't established themselves yet, and so they need a ton of reps. So that was the thought.
And I know you haven't seen the film yet of them, but any first glance impression?
Yeah, it'd be hard for me to really say right now. So I'm going to go back and look at the tape before I, get too in depth on any of that. I think it's much more difficult to evaluate where you're at the offensive line position than it is for me to tell you how I think the quarterback looked.
What was your comfort level with Charlie on that last kick? I mean, would you have gone, 40, 50?
Well, look, I think in that situation, at the end of the game like that, yeah, I mean, we would have kicked it from, I don't know, 60, depending on, how much time was left in the game and whether I thought what the down and distance was and percentages, what we thought, so that's kind of a little bit of a hypothetical. But look, I felt good about him hitting the distance. I wasn't worried about that at all, and I thought it was awesome, man. First kick in not an NFL game, first kick in a football game, American football game, and for him to knock it through like that in a pressure situation was cool to see.
What are your thoughts on how Spencer handled that 2-minute scenario? Obviously, he didn't get the clock all the way down. But,
Yeah, look, I thought overall, he handled it. I thought he handled it well. There's a lot of things that we're going to go back and look at and say, man, we got to improve here. We got to be better here. This situation, this would be a better decision. But look, ultimately, he took our team from our end of the field, drove it down to their end of the field, put us in a position to kick a game-winning field goal. And I think it's the job of the quarterback, right? So, so that was good. Now, where do we go? Next week, the week after, how do we improve? That's what's key now.
What went into starting Derek tonight? Just want to get some snaps in there.
Look, we've got so many new things on offense. We got a new scheme, a new play caller, some new pieces on the offensive line. We need to play. So that was the thought process. We need to play, and I don't think that's really too unique. I think I saw Patrick Mahomes started, and so I guess if Coach Reed thinks it's okay to play your starters in the first preseason game, that's probably not a bad idea.
Is Clint going to be calling plays from the booth the whole season?
That's to be determined, so we'll get back and talk about it and what we like, what we not like, and kind of go from there.
do you have a preference on that, DA? Does it matter to you?
I think it's whatever makes him the most comfortable. And really, honestly, it's what fits our team the best. And look, we started off last year with Joe Woods in the press box, and then somewhere during the season, I thought our guys needed him on the sideline, so we brought him down on the sideline. So I think that's always something that you're looking at and evaluating, and in particular when you got new pieces. So yeah, we'll look at it and see what we think, and look, whatever we do next week may not be what we do the following week. I think we just got to keep evaluating that.
Good to see you there.
Replay on the Rattler touchdown, did that process work for you? I mean, you got to call.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, the guys upstairs did a great job. Here, the thing about replay that's challenging, is you have to make sure that you've got clear and obvious evidence. And so, man, when I'm watching it on the big screen as they're looking at it, I'm saying to myself, I'm like, I think it's a cross. I think the ball's inside, but I can't tell. And it wasn't until they got to the next view that, when you kind of piece it all together, it certainly looked like the ball crossed the plane. But I thought our guys did a good job of saying that they felt like it was in, and so we got the challenge.
What's kind of your initial takeaway from the 18 tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think there were some good things. I mean, obviously, the one explosive pass there, at the end of the first half that, set us up in scoring position. I mean, that was a huge play in the game. And so I'd probably have to go back and look at the whole thing. How did he block? How did he get aligned? How well was he getting open when the ball didn't go to him? Like, those are all the things that, I mean, it's easy to look and see when he hits somebody on a double move in the 2-minute, that's a big play. And that's obviously, important. So I think I gotta look at it, but that certainly was a big play.
What do you think of the kickoffs on both sides?
I mean, I thought I don't know what I thought. You know what I mean? Like, it just looked like a kickoff to me. It didn't, I mean, other than they got aligned in a different spot, it didn't look a whole lot different to me, so now the uniqueness of it is I do feel like there's kind of one level on your blocking and kind of one level on your defense, which, I think when you're really talking about defensive football, you don't really want everybody on one level, because if you're all on one level, then if they crease it, then it becomes a big play. So, look, I think that's just going to be something that we're going to continue to look at and evaluate throughout the course of preseason. I don't know what everybody's going to show or not show, or what you can do differently, So I think you're going to get even into the early part of the season, and you're going to have to, be able to adjust. And I think the teams that adjust the best are going to have the most success.
What do you think of the tackling? Usually first game kind of.
I'd say overall, I thought it was pretty good. There's a couple plays that lack what I would be looking for. And so, look, I think when you get into the first preseason game, really from a defensive perspective, like, I'm looking at effort, and I'm looking at guys swarming the ball, playing the right way. It's not as much to me about, are they executing the scheme exactly right, or are they executing the technique exactly right? I want to know if they're going to play football. I want to know if they're going to play, a physical brand of football and play with great effort. I'd say overall, I thought it was pretty good, and yet I can think of a half dozen examples in my head right now that, there's going to be some tough coaching tomorrow, and that's just part of it. All right, thanks, guys.